A lot of the reporting on heat has been focused on people who are experiencing homelessness right now, but there are a lot more people than you might think who are living in homes without air conditioning.
At least one national media outlet is describing Phoenix as, quote, hell on earth, and another as a place with burning pavement and scalding water hoses. But can our state leaders do anything about it?
I believe that anything is doable because we're not doing anything now.
Sandra Kennedy is a former member of the Arizona Corporation Commission. She's calling on Governor Katie Hobbs to take action. Kennedy wants the governor to declare our brutal heat wave a state of emergency.
A heat event is just like having a tornado event or a disaster where there's lots of rain and it is flooding.
So far this year, Maricopa County has confirmed at least 18 heat-related deaths, with nearly 70 more under investigation. Cooling centers are among the few options for people seeking relief who don't have air conditioning. But many of these facilities close in the late afternoon when temperatures are still above 110.
Yeah, so the heat feels like when you preheat the oven and you open it up to stick the food in.
While many using the cooling centers are from the homeless population, 22% of heat-related deaths in the valley this year happened indoors in homes without a working AC unit. In fact, U.S. Census data reveals that more than 26,000 valley homes don't have air conditioning. A state of emergency could free up resources to subsidize AC units or open cooling centers in state-owned buildings, ones that could stay open 24 hours a day. She suggests Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
We utilize the Memorial Coliseum for the ninja, the cyber ninjas. Why can't we utilize the Coliseum for heat-related events?
The governor's chief of staff, Chad Campbell, said the administration is closely watching the situation.
That may be something that happens. Maybe, like I said, maybe ends up being a statewide emergency declared. But right now what I would say is, though, is again, we're not going to do, and the governor's not going to do anything that is just for show.
And this morning, the governor also sent a letter to the power companies demanding their plans to handle this current heat wave. In the newsroom, Dennis Welch, Arizona's Family.